Hello, everybody, and welcome to Coffee with the Coaches. I am Holly. I'm your RN health coach here at Lenovo, and joining me today is my lovely co-host, Kim Grady. Hi, Kimmy.
Good morning.
Hope everybody's doing well. So today we are going to have kind of just a chill and relaxed conversation. We've got a couple of updates for you. We want to talk about some programming that's coming up, and then we're going to talk a little bit, towards the end about the holidays. It's kind of weird, right? That we're talking about the holidays. They're that close right now. So I'm kind of excited, although on some level I'm kind of like, it's just something else this year, right? Don't you feel that way? I feel like it's kind of just something else this year. So please talk to us. Raise your hand if you want to chat. Send us your questions, your comments, concerns, queries, whatever, because we just want to know where you're at right now. I think a big thing with 2020, with this week, with everything that's going on, are we all feeling a little bit fatigued, right? Kim, I know you're feeling a little bit fatigued. You're growing a human. So, you have to give everybody a bump date. It's a bump date.
Literally sucking the life out of me.
Look at that. Growing an actual human in there. It's so cute. So in January, Coffee with the Coach is going to be very sad because I'm going to be alone. I'm going to have to bring on some guests in order to not feel so lonely come the new year. So generally, so I don't think we have a poll for this, Kim. I know that you added those in there today, but are you feeling extra fatigued this week? I mean, really, there's a lot going on in the world outside of COVID and the holidays coming up and everything. I'm kind of feeling it. I'm looking forward to the holidays, but not as much as usual for sure. And then, the political climate, what's happening? Yeah, it's tiring. I was talking to one of my clients earlier in the week, and he was just like, I'm just tired of it all. I just want 2020 to go away. And so I think, that's definitely an attitude to have, but I do think that there are other ways to deal with the fatigue of it all, right? So Kim, I didn't know, sorry, I asked you for a poll and then I didn't let you answer me.
Yeah, the only polls we have are related to the Healthy Holiday Challenge. But if people want to put in the questions, like how they're feeling or how they're kind of doing with this week, I know that I think it's been tough because I think last New Year, everybody was so pumped. It was like, woohoo, 2020's here. It's going to be the best year ever. We're going to go in with a bang. We're going to hit our goals. We're going to do so well. And I feel like it was bigger than a lot of other years. It was kind of I'm like a numbers nerd, and 2020 is a pretty number and it makes me really happy. So everybody was like, woohoo, it's going to be so great. And then the first 2 months were great. And then it was just it just continued to just stay messy.
Yeah. So,
I can't believe it's November. It feels like it was just March yesterday.
Yeah. So I want to show everybody this really cute thing that one of my girlfriends shared with me yesterday. If I can share my screen, if I can figure out how to do that. Maybe Kim, you can do it. She's way more tech savvy than me. It was really cute and it was really fitting, and it's what we'll kind of get into towards the end of our conversation today. It's just about, November traditionally has always been, everybody looking forward to Thanksgiving and the holidays, but it really is, oh, look at you.
Try now. Your turn.
You're the best. Okay. Now tell me if you can see my screen.
Yep.
Everybody see that?
I love it.
November, a time to start saying no to people, places, and things that drain your energy.
No better time.
It's so 2020. It's so 2020 right now because, we had talked, I think, the last Coffee with the Coaches about surge capacity and where we are and, what do we do when there's always just one more thing, right? So now I kind of feel like as we're going into the holidays, it's just something else that we have to deal with. So, our plan, mine and Kim's plan going into this holiday season, is to help you navigate that, to be able to use your voice and say no to some things that drain your energy, to, look at it from a different perspective, that it's not going to be the same holiday season this year. And while that makes us sad on some level, I think it's important to navigate our way around that so that we can still enjoy the holidays, but just in a slightly different way. Okay. So of course, now I'm going to, there, am I back? Okay.
I read an article yesterday or a couple days ago that actually talked about how turkeys are going to be smaller than they've been years previously because they don't expect people to gather as much as they have over the years previous. So turkey size is smaller. And I was like, I would have never thought of that.
Maybe with turkey size being smaller, our waist size will be smaller.
And more vegetables will make it to the table?
I don't know, but maybe that's a good thing. I think, I also had an interesting conversation about, one of my clients was considering whether or not he was going to travel and what his holidays were going to look like this year. And, they usually have, an 8-person sort of Christmassy thing or Thanksgiving. But there's 20 or so people that they go spend time with in their area where they live. And, he was debating what he was going to do. But, and was leaning towards going and doing. And, I asked if he wanted my opinion. And he goes, well, you're just going to say no. I'm like, well, but I didn't say that. But what's interesting about a further part of the conversation was that he found out that someone he knew was around somebody else who literally just went fishing with a friend and ended up with COVID via 4 people separated from that person who contacted COVID. But it was an interesting dynamic because he's like, they really didn't do anything, right? They really didn't do anything, but all it takes is that one person. I don't want to go into, I know we've talked about COVID ad nauseum, but it does matter, I think, going into this holiday season, right? Where, people will want to just be with their families and, they just don't think it's a big deal. So I just think we have to be mindful.
Just always kind of have that in the back of your mind. Like those of you that don't know, I do some contact tracing work on the side with another client with Marathon Health. So contact tracing is near and dear to me. So I know all about it if you have any questions, but just always think in the back of your mind, like, if I end up getting COVID, like, who did I come in contact with the last 48 hours? And like, just something to be thinking about. Like, if that list is too long and you have to start writing them down, you might be doing too much. Like, you might be seeing too many people. And just kind of have that awareness, kind of have that mindset of you could be infecting all of those people you saw. Like, if you started having symptoms the day after Thanksgiving and you went to a family party yesterday, unless you were social distancing and all wearing masks and staying 6 feet apart when you ate, if you do, wow, sounds like a beautiful home. I would love to see it. But all those people would technically be close contacts and now all have to quarantine. So just kind of keep in mind how much your actions can affect other people. It relates to what we talked about with the flu as well on the previous episodes about how what you do can affect everybody else around you.
Yeah, it's tough. It's not going to be an easy one. But, as Kim and I get into the next coffee with the coaches just before Thanksgiving, and then as we get into December, we're really going to kind of dig a little bit deeper into, the stress of the holidays and how to navigate that. So today's is more about let's just start thinking about it because, it's coming up and I know we're all going to start to make our plans pretty soon here. But just kind of keep those things in the back of your mind so that when you are making plans, you're just conscious of other people. And to think about celebrating in a different way. That's positive, different. But if we keep our positive emotions up, which we're all trying to do right now, and this week and this year, we're really going to dig into that a little bit more. So, a couple of updates for you guys. I want you to be aware of. Kim is going to give us the the ground details on a program that's going to be launched next week that we're pretty excited about. But I also want to let you know that our therapist, Dr. Liz, is going to be doing a webinar on coping with holiday stress, and that's going to be on November the 17th. So our email went out. There's going to be another email coming out that you can sign up for that. You can also go to Lenovo Benefits, and that's going to be a good one. So try not to miss that one. She's going to be doing a self-care webinar December 1st. That will also be posted in Lenovo Benefits, and that will go out in our December email from the Wellness Center. And again, you know, Coffee with the Coaches, we're going to be focusing on self-care and November, right? November. And I also do want to give a shout out to the other benefit providers, benefit vendors as well. If you go to Lenovo Benefits, Cigna is offering a lot of webinars right now around holiday stress. They're all about 30 minutes in length. That's what we kind of all try to keep them to. And they're live and they look really, really good. I was talking to Erlene Motley, who's, you know, the North Carolina benefits rep who's typically on site with us in Morrisville. And I mean, they're really awesome, just reading the descriptions. So go ahead, go to Lenovo Benefits and to the events pages. That's where you're going to find all of this stuff. So you're going to get a really broad spectrum view of what self-care looks like in 2020. So going into the holidays. So I'm going to throw it over to Kim, and she's going to talk about our new program.
Yeah, so this year, our answer to the holiday chaos is a reworked program that Holly and I have spent a ton of time on, making it more personalized for you guys. It used to be Maintain, Don't Gain. We kind of changed it up a little bit. It's now called the Healthy Holiday Challenge. We wanted to make it more inclusive. We didn't want to make it just about weight. We didn't want to make people more anxious about something they're probably already anxious about. So we're looking to be more inclusive and hopefully get more people involved and look to get everybody happier, healthier through the holidays. So that will actually open next week is when registration starts. And then the program will run the week before Thanksgiving, which is November 16th through January 8th. If you do want to log your weight, more power to you. There's always the option to do that. There's the ways to do that through the portal access. But you don't have to this year. So that's big. The other huge piece to this is we're doing what's called accountability coaches. So everybody who signs up gets an email from me or Holly or both. We haven't quite decided how we're gonna tackle that yet. But we'll be reaching out to you to let you know which one of us is your coach. And then we'll also be pairing you up with one of the Exos providers if you are in North Carolina, and then the Chicago population will get an RNG contact to reach out to them. Remote, you'll also be paired with Exos. So Exos is more of in the fitness realm, so they can help more with exercise plans or fitness plans or things like that. Holly and I are more lifestyle changes, dietary changes, habit changes, things like that. But we both do a lot of the same things. So there's a lot of overlap between all of us. So all of us communicate regularly all the time. So we'll be talking to each other about everything and how it's going. And if we need to kind of pass people along to, you know, somebody else, because you're, you know, say like you really love immunity. Well, you're going to Holly because Holly knows way more about immunity than I do. So I'm going to hand you off to Holly. If you're pregnant and you want a pregnant girl, Holly's going to pass you right along to me. So keep those things in mind too. They're not permanent, so those things can be adjusted. It's also not a requirement. It's just an added bonus. So if you're looking for somebody to talk with weekly or talk with bi-weekly or monthly or quarterly, it's just another resource for you to check in with to kind of help make a healthy holiday plan that works for you. All of us are different. All of us have different goals. Some of us have goals to stay within a financial budget. Some of us have goals to not eat the entire kitchen table at Thanksgiving. Some of us have goals to set more boundaries with relatives, you know, at the table, or maybe not staying so late, or, you know, maybe some of us want to exercise through the holidays. So we're opening it up to make it more inclusive for everybody. It's open to all benefits eligible employees and their spouses. So if your spouses want to join you, they're more than welcome to join. We think the more the merrier, the more support, the more chances for success. But yeah, I think that's like the big overview. Holly, did I forget any of the fun stuff?
No, I don't think so. Oh, you'll get weekly emails with tips and tricks on, how to, keep those habits rolling. So whether or not you decide to work with your 2 accountability coaches, you're still going to receive these weekly emails for the 8 weeks of the program. So, it's something that we haven't done yet. So it's pretty exciting. Exos is so awesome. Their coaches are so great. And the fact that we do things differently, Kim was saying that, with her and I being nurses, we're definitely more on the health wellness realm, and they're more definitely on the fitness activity realm, but there is definite overlap there. They're coaches too. So, they're all about habits and starting small and that sort of thing. So I think the biggest thing, to remember about this, and if you join, maybe it's just, you want to be right here. Maybe you just want to maintain the status quo, right? And that's okay. You don't have to have a lofty goal that's here or here, right? I read a really good article the other day. It was about taking a break from your health and wellness goals. You don't hear that from me very often, but it's important, because just like 2020 and just like the pandemic, we can get fatigued in setting goals for ourselves. It's just like, oh my God, it's just one more thing. And if the holidays especially, I think, are stressful for you, I think just trying to maintain your sanity this year is a great goal, right? Not going one way or another way or what have you, but that in and of itself is a really great goal, and reminding yourself of that. So, don't think that you have to have a goal like a weight loss goal or an activity goal or what have you. Maintenance is a great place to be. Status quo is a great place to be, because historically, the holidays tend to be the most difficult time of year for people. And that's not just from a weight perspective, and we're not concentrating on weight. That's not even we really kind of pulled back on that this year. That's not where we want to be. It's a stressful year. The holidays are really stressful. Stress management can be your goal, right? Keeping your sanity, just navigating your way around it financially, right? We all feel so obligated in so many ways to, make the holidays special and warm and enjoyable and that sort of thing. Take the pressure off. Let's just take the pressure off this year, right? I think that's really kind of how we want to help you get through the holidays. So that's my big spiel about the Healthy Holiday Challenge. So Kim, was there a question there that we can answer?
It was just someone that asked. It was just someone that asked, would there be an email? And yes, there will be an email sent to your inboxes with the link and the directions and the FAQs and all that kind of stuff. Since we made so many changes to this program, it's taking us a little bit longer to get materials together. But we're still really excited. It's still going to open on Monday for registration. The other piece with the emails is that Holly and I have looked at all of them and changed them specifically to fit this challenge. So they're not forum emails. They're not like just basic tips. Like, we personally went through all of them and worked in things that are specific to this season. We've got resources from Cigna coming in. We've got resources from Fidelity. We've got resources from Exos. So we're pulling in all those other benefits providers, Bright Horizons. So we've got stuff from everybody to link to things. So you'll have an arsenal of resources to get through this holiday season. Like Holly said, just get through it. That's what we're looking for. Like, we're just looking for everybody to continue on the path they're doing and doing well, and just get through it.
Yeah, I always think about, whatever it is that I want to maintain or work on through the holidays, and I don't tend to work on anything. I want to just be on, my thing is status quo. I just want to have a good holiday. I don't want to go up. I don't want to go down. I just want to be right here. And I don't mean in weight. I just mean from like a mental health. I just want to be okay. I just want to enjoy it and be okay. And part of that is because I hate do-overs. Like, I find a lot of people are so gung-ho. I'll just do it all over again in January. I'll just do something really big. For me, if I can just maintain what's happening in my life and balance throughout the holidays, then there doesn't have to be this giant uphill climb come January 1st, right? You know, I'm all for setting goals in the new year. I'm all for it. I think it's super important. And I think lots of people are able to work on those goals successfully throughout the year. But sometimes we can control how uphill that climb is if we start thinking about it right now. So, you know, I want you to think about that as well. And the reasons why, you know, trying to, you know, use us as your accountability partners and coaches, really use us to help you get through whatever your challenge might be. And, you know, if we can't help you, we'll help you find someone who can help you with whatever that looks like. So it's really a lot about behavior modification and habit change, and knowing there's a lot of headspace stuff happening right now. So there's a lot of just accepting where we are and accepting that we're all okay and we're all in the same boat. But there's lots of things that I know we're all going through individually. So if we can't help you with some of those things, then we will definitely refer you out to somebody who can. One other thing I did want to mention, and Kim brought up a really good point when we were preparing for our Coffee with the Coaches, I want you all to know that we read through all of your comments, all of your suggestions, all of the things that you say to us in the exit questionnaire after every Coffee with the Coaches. And we have seen in a lot of the Coffee with the Coaches exit questionnaires that a lot of you are concerned about your elderly parents, and that is weighing on you a lot. We hear you and we see you, and it is something that, you know, we are, you know, going to try and address in the next couple of Coffee with the Coaches. And I think until you're really in that situation, caring for someone who's older and mentally may not, you know, have all their faculties, we hear you, and it must be incredibly stressful. So we are going to try and work that into, you know, self-care, because I think caring for the caregiver is the primary, what one of our big goals would be for you, right? You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of other people. So I just wanted to put that out there and just let you guys know that we are hearing you, and we know that that's a thing for lots of you that are listening to us. So if you have any other questions related to that specifically, like please let us know, pop them into the chat box, or let us know after the fact. That will help kind of guide our conversation to let you know what, you know, we're thinking along whatever topic it might be, right, Kim?
Yeah. So personal example for me in regards to that, I have one living grandparent left, and she recently decided she's not going to go to Thanksgiving, and that's fine. She's 85. She doesn't want to go. There's 20 people going. So it's just one of those things, like Thanksgiving is 3 weeks out. Like if it was any other year, I would be like losing my mind. But I feel like if anything, 2020 has taught me to be more resilient and more flexible with things as they change. Like I'm in the suburbs of Chicago. Our restaurants just closed down again because COVID rates are high. Like I have no control over that. There's nothing I can do about it. It's not worth stressing about, but that's something that changes by the day, by the week, by the month. So just transferring that resiliency and transferring that flexibility to family situations, easier said than done, but like using those skills to help you get through that. So, you know, my husband and I had the discussion, like, you know, we'll go and see her, just the two of us, like we'll make sure we keep our physical distancing, and we can like just go and spend time with her and bring her a meal that she enjoys, and then we'll go, you know, hang out with the rest of the family and see how everybody feels. So, I mean, that could change. Like, you know, my relative that's hosting it might decide the week before, like, nope, we're not going to do it. There's been too many cases, or, you know, one of us is feeling symptomatic, so we're not going to have it. So be open. I guess my advice is like telling you and telling myself, be open to new traditions, be open to things changing, be open to new experiences. Maybe it's not the traditional Thanksgiving you're used to or the traditional Thanksgiving that you want, but maybe you can make it different. Maybe you can make it just as special by doing something else or thinking outside the box just to make it different this year, I guess.
Yeah. And you can do, I know it sounds crazy, but you can do some of this stuff virtually too. Like, I know it's not, cozy and warm and close and snuggly. Like, I get that, but you can do it. Like, all of our family, my husband's are in Canada, and no one's going to see each other. They're not coming here. This is
Can't get over
not,
the word.
yeah. And so, we can still do family game night. Like, I don't know when I'm going to see, my parents again, and they're older. And that hurts me on the inside pretty deep because we're really close. But we really do try to utilize FaceTime a lot. My kids miss them tremendously, but you can do and plan family game night. You can play charades because you can see each other. You could do family against family, so there are definitely ways, and I think, to, make it interesting and unique. And you have to look at it like, if we all kind of do our part now, then next year we'll all be able to be together. Do you know what I mean? It will be different. So this isn't forever. What's happening with us in 2020, this isn't forever. This is just, this is going to be one of those things. It's going to be a blip in our radar. When we look back on it in a couple of years and be like, man, that sucked. Right? Right?
Remember that year?
Right. Remember. No, Joe, I don't want to remember 2020. But I think bottom line is just make it fun, make it different, make it unique, make it safe. Right. I think that's the bottom line. So
Yeah. And if like some people get Zoom called out and visual called, like, I get it. Like, there's sometimes that I'm like, I can't do one more video call today. Like, I just don't want to do it. So like, we get it. That's also a thing. So like, there's also platforms out there that you can like stream a movie at the same time, and you can like watch a movie with relatives. There's trivia platforms that do that. There's plenty of other things out there if you don't want to do a video call. Or say like all your family members are like really gung ho on a video call and you're not. Well, then say like, hey, I can do 10, 15 minutes and then I have to go. That's part of that November that we were telling you about, like setting those boundaries, which we'll go into on another episode coming up. We've talked about that. So that's a big one, like knowing where your energy reserves are and being able to recognize that. That's really hard for a lot of us since we pour our heart and soul into everybody else. But being able to recognize that internally, that's what's going to help you stay resilient through the holidays and be able to reach the goals or maintain whatever you're looking to do this holiday season.
Yeah. I was talking to one of our IT team members for the people who take care of our computers. I was on the call for a long time this morning, and we were just waiting for things to download and what have you. We had a really interesting conversation about because Kim, it was interesting you brought, maybe we're Zoomed out or FaceTimed out, or can I possibly get on another like webinar? It was interesting because I asked him how the IT team were doing, because they're all at home and they don't Zoom call. They don't, they're not actually seeing people. So they're just on the phone and then, getting into your computer. And I'm like, well, how is that working for you? And interestingly, we tend to think of IT people as, they're all sort of introverted and, aren't people. But he's like, there's quite a few of us who are, people oriented and social and extroverted, and it's really hard because they don't get the Zoom calls, right? So if you are of that that group of people who are just constantly emailing or just calling and there's no visual contact, that's really important. As humans, we need that social interaction, and that means face to face. And whether that's on Zoom or right beside you, we actually need that to be healthy from a mental, which causes physical perspective, right? So thinking about that and thinking about people who might be in that situation too, that's really, really important. One of the other things that he brought up was, if you don't turn your camera on, people who don't turn their camera on don't tend to engage as much, right? With whatever it is, whether it's a webinar or a team meeting, or and for whatever reason you don't feel like you look good that day, or your background looks, your room is a mess, or right? Yeah, but we don't tend to engage. So interestingly, like when you think about, you're talking to somebody on the phone, that's a social connection, but we tend to be doing other things, and you know what I mean? Like we tend to do other things, like whether we're ironing or, whatever. So, doing those virtual calls where you're seeing the other person is really, really important for engagement and feeling that social connection with people too, right?
Absolutely. 100%. I'm guilty of that. When I don't have my camera on, I'm doing a million other things that I probably should be anyways.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Does anybody have any questions about the Healthy Holiday Challenge that's coming up, or, anything that we talked about, November, or, any random questions that you just kind of want to throw out there for Kim and I? I'll give you just a minute to throw anything out there.
Yeah, in the meantime, we'll launch I'm just going to launch a poll real quick, see if anybody, how you guys are feeling. You going to participate? Are you not? Maybe. I didn't put all those options in. Maybe, maybe not.
Either a yes or a no. You need to know right now.
Maybe 2 options, yes or no. Tell me why.
Yes. Yeah, why or why not? And this is going to be a great, one thing about the program too is this will be a great lead up for a program that we're going to launch in January, actually, mid to late January. It's going to be super fun. Similar but different still. There'll be some required accountability come January for the challenge that we're going to do. It's going to be great. So definitely want to stay tuned for that, and hopefully we'll get that sent out sort of mid-December-ish, maybe. That's our goal, but it might not happen until January. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we know it's nutty for you guys around the end of the year, so
yeah,
we're doing the best we can. So 2/3 of people said yes, and a third of you said no.
Nah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah,
we won't disown you. We won't shame you. That's fine. I understand.
And awesome too. So when you get the email, check in with your teammates too. This could be a great team challenge. So ask around, see who's doing it, who's not doing it. Like Kim said, spouses on the health plan can do it as well. Domestic partners, whoever's on your health plan are invited to participate. So I think that's it for us today, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and, happy November. Bring it forward. No.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody. See you later.
Bye.